Hey guys, it's Mark with Hawkeye Ordnance. If you just watched the rifle video, you'll notice not much has changed, other than in the last few minutes, Vortex sent us some new banners for our Forest Lake Sportsman's Club Hawkeye Ignite match. So welcome to the club and one of our matches. This is the stage we're doing as a regular stage all year called Transition. Opportunity for guys to work on some of their gun transition. So anyway, if you're ever in the area, come on out to one of our matches. So this is part 2 of a 4-part series on guns and gear, revisiting all the things we talked about 3 years ago with some changes in philosophy. If you get a chance to watch the rifle video for 2016, I would recommend doing that. There's some basic information there I'd like you to have, but the long and short of it is after I had an equipment malfunction a year ago, I looked at all of my gear and I said, okay, if I want to go to the next level competing, what does that look like? What does that equipment look like? And what do I have to do to get that done? So now we're going to talk about the shotgun. And I think I'm going to piss a few people off. Basically what I'm saying is this: as far as I can tell, there are only 3 shotguns that completely meet all the benchmarks for what we require of our guns. And those guns are very simple. That would be the Benelli M2, the Beretta 1301, and the Browning A5. Now, I have the least experience with the A5, but I have a lot of experience with the Benelli M2 and the Beretta 1301. Now, if your gun isn't on the list, it's for one of a couple of reasons. It's either not working very well, or it isn't proven yet. So, there's a possibility that other guns could come on that list. The most notable one missing from the list, there's 2, would be the Versamax and the Stoeger. Now, start with the Versamax. I'm seeing a lot of them fall apart after 2 years. So I work in a gun shop, I put on matches, and I own a company that cuts shotguns to make them race ready. So we see a lot of guns. The Versamaxes are coming back and they're needing new parts. Now, it's not the end of the world. The gun itself actually handles really well. We're just seeing a lot of little bits and bobs that need to be replaced after 2 years, where the M2s and now the 1301s seem to be lasting and lasting and lasting. None of these guns were designed to be run as hard as we run them, and they're all subject to failures, okay? So don't ever think there's one of these guns I'm going to recommend that's going to show up and be, the answer to all your problems. So for this gun right here, my Benelli M2, is exactly 1 year old at this point, and it is still running flawlessly. Knock on dump bucket. So here's the deal. The Stoeger, good grief, guys. I know a lot of guys are buying the Stoeger, and I think it's probably a really good entry-level gun. It's the only one I would even consider. The issue we're running into with it is when we go to weld up the lifters, or we go to replace, put a drill and tap for a oversized bolt release, there's just not a lot of steel there, guys. There's just not a lot of metal there to work with, and I just don't see them holding up long term. I could be totally wrong. If you have one and you're loving it, that's awesome. Tell me to go to hell. I don't really care. But anyway, we're gonna talk today about some of the mods we do and what we recommend for these guns. So this is my M2. You've seen it in a lot of our videos. This gun has run at about 100% for me. There's a handful of things that need to be done to these guns to make them super duper race ready. So as you see mine right now, it is in my 10 round kind of bay shoot configuration, which is what I got going on for tonight. We do put a, we'll just go from tip to stern here. So we do put a 25% lighter spring in for recoil in the back that helps run those light bird shots. I run an 1145 feet per second cleaver out of this gun with just about 100% reliability. I have not done anything with my safety. That is not something that seems to be a big deal to me, although it'd be cool to have a little oversized one, I suppose. My partner Blair at Hawkeye Ordnance did a little trigger job for me to just clean it up a little bit. I didn't have him change the weight of it at all, and that's been really fantastic. This is the GG&G oversized bolt release, bolt charging handle, and then let me pull this chamber view out of here. It's an empty gun, guys. And then we have our BFB, which is our bolt release, and honestly, there's a bunch of great ones out there. This one works great for me. We did lighten my bolt, and I'll show you what that looks like a little bit, but I'll be honest with you guys, that's cosmetic. I'm sure there's some good reason for it, but I can't tell the difference. And then when we get into the guts here, the one thing that everybody seems to want, and I think it's pretty necessary, and you'll see mine isn't too terribly aggressive, is opening up this port and extending the lifter. So got rid of the, the standard Benelli pickle fork right there, and we fit this thing so that the lifter, let's see if we can see this, basically has just a little bit of clearance with a full magazine, okay? And that allows for a couple things, one of which is when you go to load, it gives you a nice smooth ramp right into the magazine, and then it keeps your finger from getting jammed in there on the way back out. So that's that guy. And then I do like the Match Saver, that's the one that I use. There's some other good ones on the market. And then a magazine extension. So this gun is 26 inches long, and when I was looking at replacing all my gear last year, I wanted a 24. And I talked to some pros, Jesse Tischhauser, who has been really gracious with helping me out, was answering some questions of mine, was like, man, I have a 26 and I wish I had a 28, and he was absolutely right. So this is a 26 with a total 10 round capacity. So this is my flush fit kind of version of this, and when I'm shooting small tight bays, I'll oftentimes use this configuration. And then I've got a +2 Nordic extension up here that gives me 12 total. And that's the configuration I use for tactical shotgun and the big outdoor, terrain matches where there's lots of shotgun loading. I am using the clamp because slinging has become kind of a big part of my life, and I've got the Shooter Source QD in the back here, and that runs pretty well for me. Got a high-vis sight on here, which I like, and then these are just these are actually the Benelli chokes, but I've got had some really good luck with the Carlson ones as well. I'd love to get some Briley's or something that just hasn't been in the cards for me. I've spent my money other places. So anyway, this is what kind of a premium competition shotgun looks like when you're all done. And this one's been incredibly reliable. And again, here's how we look at this, guys. If you have a pistol, a rifle, a shotgun, a safe holster, and a little bit of humility, come out and play with us, okay? When you're ready to upgrade any one of those, what I'm recommending you do now, instead of trying to kind of piece this together cheap, is to go as high as you can possibly go. This gun is $1,200, completely modded out as you see it here from Hawkeye is around $1,600. Some of the other guys out there charge more or less. There's some great cutters out there. Find somebody to help you out. We'd love to do it, but we're not the only one in town. The 1301 is going to run you around 13 or 14 all done. And then Stoeger, you could probably get in the neighborhood of $700 or $800 all ready to go. But my guess is you'll end up buying 2 of them before this one wears out. So it's about the same price really at the end of the day. All right, what else? Good grief. I hope you guys aren't too pissed about this. We just really want to let you know what we think, and this is our honest opinion. I'm not endorsed by Beretta or Benelli or Browning or any of these companies. I've gone through the pain myself. I've spent the money myself. Most of you have watched me go from the JM Pro to the M1, trying all kinds of stuff in the middle and experimenting with all this stuff, and I'm out thousands of dollars, guys, trying to get to where I could have been for $1,500-$1,600 from the beginning. So that's the case we're making right now. Check out the M2, and then our upcoming videos, we're going to be talking about pistols, and that's going to be a pretty interesting conversation. And then the 4th installment will be on gear. So thank you all for sticking with us through the last year. We've been figuring out our new equipment, and God bless. We'll see you on the next one.